Hey guys, how's it going? It's Non here, and today I thought I'd interview Michael about who he is and what is it that he does. So, welcome, Michael.
Thank you, Nun.
And I know today it's a bit more formal than usual because we're usually quite easygoing and we just spontaneous and say whatever is on our mind. But
We're gonna be formal today.
yeah, just a little
Wow.
bit, just a little bit. So, I guess before we start, why don't you introduce a bit about yourself?
My name is Mikael. I am from Sweden, and I am your what do you call it? It's the poo bitch.
Poo bitch.
Yes, that's what
What
I've
is
been
a poo
called.
bitch?
It's a slang, Australian slang for being a support worker.
Oh,
Yeah.
a poo bitch.
Yeah, so that's why I'm an ass wiper, or a bum wiper, or even a professional bum wiper.
A professional bummer. That's
Yeah.
impressive.
Mm.
That's impressive.
So yeah, that's what I'm doing.
So just tell me a bit about your background. Like, where did you come from? Like, what was the first job that you had, and tell us a bit about that.
I got fired from my first job. My first job was a cashing hand job on a golf course. I was working in a little kiosk where we were selling like food and drinks and different things. And one of the guys at the golf course had two daughters, and he wanted them to work, and so he started. He was setting me up. He framed me for a
He
few
framed
things.
you. Oh
Yeah,
no.
yeah. He made up a few things, and then he went to the guy and said, "Oh, he did this, he did that," and then I got fired, and then his daughter was working there. So
Wow, so they replaced you for his daughters.
yeah, and when you're like in your teenage years and it's your first job and you get fired, you sort of take it personal, and then after that it was very clear what was happening. But it's an interesting first lesson in
In
life.
life, yeah. And where did you go after that?
I worked few times at during the summers. That's when you get a job in Sweden, during the summers when people are going on vacation. I worked aged care couple of years in the summer, like for a couple of months, and that was pretty good. And then I got a job at our ISP, Telia, where they're dealing with like broadband and phones and stuff like that, similar to Telstra
Yeah, yeah.
in Australia. And I got promoted because of my technical skills. I have always been having passion with computers. My dad used to bring home a computer when he worked, because he was in the IT industry, and he brought it home, and that was in the early 90s, and no one had a computer in the whole town except me. So my dad, every time he would go home, he would do the effort of unplugging all the cables, put it in the trunk, drive home, let me play with it. And then when he would go to work, he would unplug it, take it back to work, so that computer was working hard. And I really love computers, and working with computers was like a dream of mine. But once you starting working with computers, it's not fun as in playing with them, because then you're dealing with angry, frustrated people. Every time I had people calling me something was broken, someone wasn't working, and it was always, it's always your fault. If the customer is, some customers have low skills, like they don't know how to type a password. So they type a password and then they're confirming the password and they're getting the error that doesn't match.
Yeah, yeah.
Somehow it's your fault as a support worker or a IT help desk. So I got a little bit tired of that, but I was doing it for a few years, and I got promoted into help the supervisor,
Yeah.
the technical supervisors. I was doing all the guides, all the routines. I was going on meetings, coordinating through different areas of the company, and one day I just felt, fuck, I'm doing the same shit over and over again. And I was having smoko with my coworkers, and they were like, oh yeah, they were just complaining how bad everything was, and they've been with the company for 30 odd years or more. And I was like, I'm gonna become one of them, because in Sweden it's still a thing, the gold watch thing. You should stay with the same employer for life.
Wow.
Yeah. You get a gold watch, and it didn't gel with me because it was getting boring. It was like a hamster in a hamster wheel, just running, hanging out with the same people. One day I was folding laundry, and that's when I get my big ideas, comes when I do stuff like that. And I'm gonna sell everything, and I'm just gonna go. And I did. And I traveled around the world and ended up in Australia. And I did the work and holiday for 2 years. Went to do fruit picking, working on different farms, worked on a cattle station outside of Tennant Creek in the middle of nowhere. Was quite interesting. Got fired again because the farmer thought that I knew how to fix tractors and how to do this and how to do that, and he's like, you don't know how to build a fence. You gotta be fucking kidding me. And I think he said something along the lines with, you're fucking useless or something like that. And then I asked him, and then I said to him, if you knew how to read, then you could have actually read my resume and see that I have never done anything like this. But anyways, he told me that, you can take the day off and you don't have to, come back. And I was like, I think I will do that.
Wow, so it sounds like you've had pretty rough jobs and bosses who haven't been the best.
I might not be the easiest employee because I like to be innovative. I like to do things differently. I like to find ways of doing things better, to improve, and I've stepped on a lot of toes. Especially the supervisors and the bosses that are a bit insecure. They've been like, oh, you don't tell me how to do my job, you do what you're told, or if you don't, then you go home, you stay home, they're putting you in your place. So there's been a few times I've been fired because of me being me. But then it wasn't the right fit, because it's not good working with someone like that.
So fast forward into the present moment, doing support working. How did you get into that?
Oh, after fruit picking, I was meeting a girl in the bush, and we got married.
Oh yeah.
And there was no IT jobs, so I applied for every single job in the newspaper.
Wow.
Back in that town, newspaper is how you get a job. And I had someone calling me and said, do you want to work with disabled people? And I was like, yeah, sure, I do whatever. And then I did that, and I was like, wow, this is really nice. It was really rewarding. It was really nice. I really liked it. When I help someone, I help myself. I feel good when I can help someone. And being innovative, the bosses didn't like it, but the clients did. The clients liked me because I was doing things differently. We were being told this day we're gonna do this, we're gonna go bowling, we're gonna do this, we're gonna eat here, we're gonna eat there. And I was like, hey guys, let's do something else today. Oh yeah, you guys wanna go to the beach? Yeah, let's do that. We're not really supposed to, but yeah, fuck it, let's go to the beach.
Yeah.
And then we got to the beach, and they were like, we're not allowed to swim. And they were walkers. They were only having intellectual disabilities. And I was like, guys, I'm gonna take you to the beach and we're gonna go swimming. So we did. And I made sure they didn't go too far. But then my boss, she threw the policy and procedures in my face. And, it was too dangerous. And then I said to them, how about the dignity of choice? Our clients do have a choice. And I told my boss that I think that you're not really worried about the clients. I think that you are worried about you, the company. You're trying to save your own Southern Island. And you're making it sound like it's about the clients. And then I said, they're disabled anyway, so what does it matter, you know, if a shark comes and bite their legs or, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't very popular.
But it sounds like you're someone who likes to go out of the box and do things, and you're more like a people person, wanting the best for people instead of for rules and legislation.
Yes. And then like when I have the right boss, then it really works, because I've had bosses that has been like really good and they've been utilizing me and say, Michael, I know that you're good at this. Can you like see if we can do this? And like, yes. And working at Respite has been very good for me, because we have with Montrose, we have the Respite where we have clients coming in for a week or so to stay with us. And we have different clients all the time. So what I like with Respite there, it's not rigid, it's different all the time. So we don't have a set routine. You have to think on your feet, and I think I do that quite well, because I like to be innovative, come up with different ideas, and they utilize me in a good way. So they use me for, you know, to come up with things and help with things, and, you know.
They're using your full potential.
Yes. So when I have a supervisor working with me and, you know, utilizing me, it works really well. And and then we have the NDIS now, and I can sort of, in a way, you can be your own boss.
Yeah, but for those watching who don't really know what support working is about, can you tell us a bit about what that's about? What your job involves?
So being a support worker, you can, it depends a lot. Sort of, it's really broad, like. So working with you, what do? I come here at a certain time and I help you with things, and we make videos, and I also take you to the toilet. Do you want to tell them more about that now?
The toilet, wow. I think that can be for another time.
Okay, so I have to help with personal care, but also we do things. Anything you need, I do within reason, you know.
Yeah.
If you want to go somewhere, I'll help you. If you need your legs moved or your hands moved, or you need to like, sometimes you get like your arms get sore, so I move them around a bit, and then I pretend that you're milking a cow. But it all depends on your client, because you have different clients. So here it's more, I am your arms and I am the muscles. So you got the big brain and I got the muscles, and that sort of works quite well, because my brain is okay. It's not great, you know, but it's.
So in a way, you could say you're supporting a person become or be the full potential.
Yeah.
But depending on different clients, they will require different needs.
Yes. And it's quite incredible when you can match it right, and you can get a client that gels with you and they want to do new things, and you can actually improve their lives.
And what is it about this job that you love?
I don't know if there's anything I love about this job. I mean, it pays the bills.
Yeah, sure, Michael.
The great thing with this job is that you get to gel with people, you get to help people, you get to do things, you do activities. What I like is you don't have the pressure of production. Any other job, you always have the production part. It's like, oh, you need to work faster, you need to produce more, you need to take more phone calls, you're not good enough. But here, it's not about that. It's about using your social skills. It's about, in a way, being relaxed, because if you're all stressy, that will then make the client all stressy. So you need to be calm and collected, and you just need to make sure the client has a good time. So basically, as a support worker, it's very simple. You make sure that your client is happy. You have happy customers, and happy customers, they are repeat customers. And if you are unhappy with your support worker, you will replace your support worker. But I mean, getting there, you just need to use common sense and treat people like adults. Because I see sometimes support workers get this wrong, and they would be like, "Oh, good boy, Nun, good boy. You can do that. Oh, wow, that's really good that you can do that." They like, and the over assisting is another thing. You helping a client with things that they can do themselves, which then makes them like, you losing that independence if you get used to getting help. I'm trying to do as much hands off, and I'm lazy too, so it goes well. Like, why would I do something if I don't have to, you know? So I let clients do as much as they can, and then I help when they've tried and they can't do it, and then I help. So I try, because otherwise I've seen a lot of support workers, they help too much. So just it's just common sense really, and just make sure that you, whatever you do, think about safety. You know, if you're going somewhere, you have to just make sure that it's a safe area. You have to just anticipate, like when we go out, you're crossing a road, you make sure that, and you know, if there is a gap in the road, I make sure to tell you, and just within reason, make it safe, and just keep you guys happy.
Yeah, and I think you do a really good job with that, Michael, and I think you are quite a popular support worker.
Thank you, Nun.
Yeah, why do you think that's so? Like, what do you think that to you, what makes of course this question is something clients should answer, but to you, what is it about you that you think is so unique that a lot of people resonate with you?
I think it's a few things, like I don't take myself serious, and I'm playful, and I don't really judge, and I'm quite open-minded, and you know, I just come on shift and I'm quite playful, and I'm happy doing whatever, you know. And I've learned through life that sometimes it's better to be kind than to be right. If a client is telling me to do something a certain way, I just say, okay, yeah, great. Thank you for teaching me that. I'm not going like I've seen some other people do. They're like, oh, but it takes much longer doing it this way. Why don't you do it this way? And this is more better. And you know, why don't you go and do that instead of, like, I try to just let you guys, you know, I don't want to be the besserwisser, you know, the know-it-all, like. And that makes people feel a bit small. So I try not to make people feel small. I try to make people feel good. So I would focus on, you know, being playful and having fun and just having a good day. And if someone says something stupid, then I just laugh and I say something stupid. It's like, sometimes people think that people will be liked if they are cool, if they're smart, if they know everything, but I find quite the opposite. Like at Respite, because sometimes I'm a bit dumb. I have my Swedish moments, and you know, you go to the shopping center and you go the wrong way, and then a client says, "Hey Michael, we're heading to the cinemas and it says the arrow is that way," and I'm like, "That's right."
Or you're pushing a door but it says pull, you know, things like that, hey?
Or I could go and say, "Oh, are you telling me how to do my job? I'm the support worker. I'm going the right way, you know. Don't you dare telling me how to do my job, you know."
Yeah, that would be quite intimidating. actually?
I think just being like relaxed as much as you can, but also like when you need to be serious, you can be serious. But just letting people be right and just, let people. And sometimes, I say dumb stuff and I forget things, and that's okay. And it makes you more sort of likable, I think.
Yeah, and I think that's such a very powerful trait to have, being able to be playful, have fun. Don't take life seriously, because I feel like with this job or living with a disability, it's good to be surrounded by people who don't take life seriously, because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. And I think you do a really good job at that.
Thank you.
And I'm very grateful that you're my support worker.
Thank you. No?
A bit cliche as it sounds, but sometimes you gotta be honest. And so if there's someone out there who is curious about support worker, but they don't know whether they're qualified or they should, what would you say to them? Like in this industry, they may not know anything about disability, but they're a people person and they want to help people.
I mean, to start with, like, to do this job well, you don't really need any experience. It's more you have the right personality.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a people person, if you're good with people, and if you like to help people, then it will work really well, and you will learn on the job. It's almost like, in a way, it's like kids. You have your 5-year-old, and you take the clothes off, and then you help with the shower. You put the clothes back on. You're making sure that they don't eat sugar all day.
Yeah.
It's simple. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to do this job, but to do the job well, then you need to be able to suppress your ego and your pride, and just let your clients be right a lot, and just do whatever they want to do, and not judging, and but it all depends what area, because we have the physical area.
Yes.
Which I've been working in, and it works really well for me because I'm open-minded. I like to help. I like to
yes.
think. I like to improve. I like to help people. But there is also areas like people with intellectual disabilities. That's a different ball game. So when it comes to the more bossy people, they tend to be better with the intellectual, especially the guys with autism.
Yes.
Because I am not good with autism, because when it comes to autism, you need to be firm. You need to have that routine. Going bowling every Friday is great for the guys with autism, because they feel safe when there is a structure. And if you really like structure and you're quite, strongly willed, then work with autism is going to be really good.
So it sounds like it's more to do with personality
Yes.
than anything, than experience, because experience can be learned or gained through working, but the personality is where you're right for the job, you're fit for the job.
And the correct personality will be what makes you or breaks you. And everything you need to learn, you learn on the job. Your employer will also give you like courses for like medication training, how to lift properly, personal care, how to do things in a safe manner. But it is not rocket science. Anyone can learn it, but I would say probably the ego is going to be what most people will struggle with. It will be like having to okay, for example, we were going we were at the supermarket, And one of my guys with an intellectual disability, he shit himself in the supermarket. And there was poop going down his leg to the carpet. And at that point I was like, hey, Mr. X, I think we have a shitty day, don't we? But, you know, don't worry. We will clean you up and we will just, you know, get you home and give you a shower and you be sweet ass, you know. I mean, sometimes I shit myself too, you know, when you do a fart and then you refart. That was a wet one. In that very point, it's very important to deflate your ego, make you look like an idiot, and just reassure the clients that everything is fine. Like, because normally it can get super awkward, and people like freeze up and they don't know what to do.
Yeah, definitely.
He just shit himself. What should we do? It's like, what do you think you should do? Do you think you should just stand there, or do you think you should grab some tissues and start cleaning? Maybe asking the shop assistant if they have any gloves, or you know. So it's a lot to deal with people. You just need to have the right attitude
and a bit of common sense.
Yeah. And you want to be the sort of person that are not talking down to people, because there is some people that are very good at making other people feel small. It's like, oh, you know, if you would have told me you needed to go to the toilet, then we wouldn't have this issue now, would we? Like, you just need to have common sense. But back to the autism, if your client has autism, it's really good to have a personality, bossy personality. And then you also have mental health. So mental health is also going under the disability umbrella. So you could work with someone that is having schizophrenia or other sort of mental health issues. And that is a whole other ball game. You need to be very tough. You need to be very strong-minded, like you need to be, because you're going to be in the forest and it's going to be a massive storm, and you need to be that big tree that just stands there and can take it.
Yeah.
And for someone like me, I would struggle with that. But it's better to have a less open-minded person, a more sort of thick-skinned, sort of, you know, the guy with tattoos and drives a motorbike and, you know, has cool sunglasses and a bandana. That sort of guy is much better than like the big softy to deal with the mental health. So the number one problem you will end up doing is that you as a support worker will be going into the wrong field. So you might be, like I was really suitable for physical disabilities, which I didn't know because they threw me in with mental disabilities. So I had the guy, the crocodile man, they called him. The crocodile man got his nickname after boiling a kettle and throwing it over the support worker. The support worker was lucky and he didn't get burnt, but he told the support worker, I'm gonna make you the crocodile man and you're gonna work at the circus. You're gonna work at the circus. And then he got the boiling water and they put me with him. That was my first client.
Your first client?
Yes, my first client was him.
Wow, that would have been quite difficult for you?
Oh, I did 2 buddy shifts, and on the second buddy shift he pulled a knife on me and my buddy. And he had like this policy that you're not supposed to have knives, so they were locked up, but he was working. He was working in some form of work experience where they were packing fruit and they had to open boxes, so he smuggled a little knife from his workplace. So he pulled that one and I was like, whew, maybe disability work is not for me. But then I was lucky because I was talking to the boss and I was just saying, I can't handle this, and if you want to fire me, you can fire me. And they were nice and said, it's okay. I think with your personality, Mikael, you would do better in this area. So they sort of directed me more towards the physical disability.
So if anyone wants to be a support worker, they must first understand what field they would be good in.
Yes. So if you're softy, then you're gonna do really well. If you're nice and nurturing and all that, physical disability would be really good. And then if you're sort of more tough, if you're really tough and you want a challenge, then go with mental health and challenging behavior. And if you're sort of in the middle, then autism and intellectual disability would be really good. So we are good at different things, so it's very important
to know that.
Yeah, so that's why I really thrive here, because I'm swimming in the right water, and it works really well. And that's what I believe. I believe in the perfect match. So everyone that I'm working with, I'm making sure it's a really good match. Like we gel really well together and it works fine and we have the right personality. So I've got a waiting list as a support worker. It's funny.
That's interesting.
Like a surgeon. It's like, so when we had the corona, I was actually pulling up the list and starting calling, and I managed to get some hours because I had clients that I've worked with at Respite that was wanting me to work with them. So it's quite nice, and I'm quite thankful for having that opportunity.
Yeah, that sounds like you've had quite a journey in your life, with all the jobs that you've done, and it seems like you've actually managed to get the job that you really like now.
Yes.
Yeah. So what would you say is the biggest thing that you've got from all of this, from working as a support worker, personally for you?
I guess it's sort of, you get a deeper understanding for people. Like you get to spend time in people's home, you see how people live, you see the things that we're all hiding from each other. We all pretend everything is perfect and post on Facebook when, look at me, I'm so happy, I'm so exciting, and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. But I get to see the whole thing. I get to see the bad stuff that people just pretend is not there. So I get to spend time with clients and doing very intimate things, which is quite interesting to see. People normally don't see that, unless, like when you have kids on your own, then you do, but otherwise you don't see that part. And I find but it changed your values, so you're sort of realizing that helping others is really a great source of happiness. I thought money was going to be the solution for everything and make me happy, but it doesn't. Money just doesn't really change anything. What you do, your social interactions are really the source for happiness. It's the number one thing. You can be having the shittiest job in the world with a horrible boss. As long as you have co-workers, you can joke around with them, you'll be fine. But if you would have this horrible workplace and no co-workers, then you would be not doing well. So I guess you just get social skills, and you're putting the pieces together, and you're starting to realize, oh, he's doing this because of that, and you get sort of almost like a psychologist. You can like psychoanalyze people, and I like doing that. Read body language. You get really good with body language, because there's clients that only communicate through body language. So you get good at that, and you can decode the body language, because people say one thing and they mean something else. So it's incredibly interesting how you can get this like deep knowledge of people.
So it sounds like you've learned a lot about people, understanding people more, why they do what they do, and I think with your job you would be able to see the real person.
Yes.
Right, because a lot of us, we are having this image of ourselves that we portray to other people, and it's not always like that. Most of the time it's never like that, but you get to spend time with people and see them at a really close sort of a level, and I think that's such an amazing thing too.
It is.
It's such a...
And it makes the job a lot easier if you're comfortable just being yourself. If you're comfortable being yourself, you can make fun of yourself, you will have so much easier time. But if you're pretending to be someone you're not, you're gonna have a hard time.
Yeah.
as a support worker. Because a lot of people, they pretend. You know, you drive a nice car and you have a nice title, you might be a doctor or whatever, and you know, everyone respects you because you're a doctor, but you know, you're not your profession, you are you. So you're sort of pretending to be someone that you're not. And just being yourself that's people really respect that, and I think that's one of the reasons why it works well with me and my clients, because I'm just myself and I'm not trying to pretend to be someone I'm not.
You get to be yourself.
And then the client can relax, because at the end of the day you need to be able to make the client comfortable and relaxed.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple, but it's hard to do in practice. And you get better with age.
But it sounds like you're pretty good at that now. Through a lot of trial and error that you've done in the past, got to where you are today. And what would you say? Would you say you're happy with where you are?
Yes, I am happy where I am. Yes, it's almost the problem. The problem is I'm so happy with where I am.
Yeah.
That I just feel, where do I go now? It's like you're thinking about, oh, when I get this promotion, then I would be happy. And you get that promotion, and then you're like, now what?
Yeah.
So I sort of trying
to find something.
Enjoy. I've brought stoicism in, actually, to to just change my mindset a bit, to enjoy what I have. Like, you try not to think of what you don't have or what you can't do. I'm not good at this. I don't have that. I want that. Instead, think, what I'm good at this. I have this. I have that. I mean, if you make a list of all the things you have, you'd be like, whoa.
You'd be amazed with what you do.
Living like a freaking rock star. Imagine even
like a king.
The kings, the Swedish kings back in the day, living in excess and luxury. They don't even have as much as I do.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's all in your mind to sort of be satisfied, because otherwise it's a mouse and rat game where you're chasing the next fix. You want to buy something, you want to buy a new phone and then you'd be happy. You want a new laptop and then you'd be happy. You want a new car and then you'd be happy. You want a promotion and then you'd be happy. It's
quite the opposite, actually.
Yeah, so being a support worker has sort of taught me that try to just enjoy now and just be happy with what you got. I mean, of course you should have, aspire to do good and to grow and do more things. But I find it's easier once you appreciate what you got, because then you feel more content and satisfied.
And happy.
Yeah, but it's also very dangerous because it's so easy to just be comfortable. Because I like my job. I really enjoy what I'm doing, so I'm sort of feeling like it's a bit of stagnation at times, you're already on the moon. So that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to go to the moon, but I want to go to a bigger moon, but I don't want to leave this moon because this moon is really nice, but I do want to go to a bigger planet because that's what I'm supposed to do. So I'm just happy with where I am, and then I will see where life takes me. I probably will always do this, and then I might do something else on the side. And have multiple little projects.
Sounds good. Well, hopefully people watching could have a better understanding of what support working actually is, and if you're ever interested, maybe look into it and see where it takes you. But Michael, thank you for being in the video today. Hopefully it wasn't too miserable for you.
Thank you. And Nun, if you would give an advice, like when you're looking for a support worker, what do you look for?
So when I look for a support worker, what I look for is basically what you said. Someone who is funny, someone who doesn't take life seriously. Someone who is open-minded and is there for the person, not for the rules, you know. In other words, be a human being and don't be a robot. That's what I'm saying.
And then you need to be slightly dumber than you. No, you can't.
Yeah, you can't be better than the master.
If you outshine the master,
yeah.
That's when the head rolls down the hill.
Yeah, so that's also very important. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys got something out of that. And do you want to say anything, Michael?
I just want to say, if you think that you would, if you want to try it, then try it. You can do volunteering or whatever to just see how it is. And if you like it, then pursue it.
All
That's
right.
it.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Nerd.
Thank you. All right. Bye.
And never give up.
Never give up. Oh, you stole my line.